Bristol, a gentleman once again, was quartered in the Lord High Governor's own cabin. The door was flung open. Ricardo stooped and entered. Standing erect again, he fixed a colorless eye upon Jim.
Shove off, little one. I want to talk to Bristol.
I'm sitting right here,
said Jim easily.
The lad's all right,
said Bristol.
He'll be carrying tales to Bryce if you don't watch yourself, Mr. Bristol.
Oh, I don't think so.
Bristol swung his legs and continued to look through the stern ports. The buckles on his sea boots flashed as a ray of sunlight struck them. After a moment, he turned to Ricardo.
What's under your hatch?
Ricardo studied Jim and then shrugged.
What's the matter with having him hear it? He won't ever see Bryce again anyhow.
Jim's eyes grew suddenly big. Bristol did not move.
Meaning what?
Meaning plenty. Listen, I'm sick and tired of running Bryce's errands for him. One of these days, he'll cut away from us and take all the loot, and we'll swing on some execution dock in his place.
If you're trying to stir me up, spare yourself the effort. I'm most terribly satisfied with my lot.
That's because you don't know any better, matey. This Bryce hasn't got the morals of a cockroach.
Coming from you, that's funny.
So, you don't think he'd let you hang for him?
Ricardo's swinging arms steadied. The elbows bent slowly. Ricardo's thumbs were hooked in his green sash, close to the matchlock dags, which were always ready there.
What's your game?
Look here, me bucko. You're a navigator. You can take us any place on the seas. We've got a man-of-war with 70 guns, and we can lick anything that floats. We've got the goods and florins taken from that last Dutchman. I say, let's get out from under and strike out on our own account. The men will all go with me. I've spoken to them about it. They don't owe nothing to Bryce.
Well, I owe something to Bryce. Think that over.
Jim was sitting up straight, white hands gripping the arms of the chair, eyes on Bristol. Ricardo growled a word as bitter as acid.
I'm afraid that I don't take that from anyone.
No? Well, my bucko, you'll take it from Ricardo, and like it.
A pistol whipped from the green sash. Before Bristol could gather himself, Jim's small boot lashed out and cracked against Ricardo's knuckles. Ricardo bellowed with rage. His open hand swooped down. The palm cracked loudly against Jim's cheek. Crumpling up, Jim slid into the far corner of the cabin. The jaunty cap fell off, and the yellow hair streamed down on either side of the handsome face. The mark of the blow was as red as blood on the white cheek. Faces were peering in through the door, but Bristol gave them no heed. Both he and Ricardo were staring at Jim. Something about the way the yellow hair fluffed out. Something about the way the jacket lay against the throat.
My God, she's a girl.
Ricardo's other hand was moving. Ricardo's colorless eyes were upon the spot where the bullet would strike Bristol. Men scattered out of the line of fire. Bristol came off the table like a 10-pin. He struck the floor and rolled over. Ricardo's face was wreathed in the smoke which eddied up from Bristol's gun. Ricardo's eyes went suddenly wide. Bristol was instantly on his feet. The harsh twang of his rapier, leaping from its scabbard, came almost as an echo to the shot. He lunged. Ricardo parried the blow with his bare hand, and the blade went red. Ricardo's cutlass came out and slashed wildly before him. Bristol did not think of the niceties of swordplay, nor did he try to avoid Ricardo's rush. His right boot came off the planking, his body swept forward, the boot stamping back. His rapier flickered an instant, and then the flicker died deep in the chest of Ricardo. Ricardo's mouth flecked red with froth. He clawed at the blade. Bristol pulled it out. Folding up a little at a time, Ricardo slumped into a dirty pile on the carpet. Bristol did not look up when the quartermaster spoke.
"Surrender your weapons,"
said the quartermaster.
"You are under arrest of the council."
Bristol tossed pistols and rapier listlessly to the floor. The quartermaster scooped them up and then pointed to the girl.
"You'll have to stand charge for that, too."
For what?
Said Bristol, still staring at Ricardo.
"You're guilty of fighting aboard and harboring a woman. The penalty is marooning."